Hey,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to see you.
Good. Long time no see. It's been ages.
It's been so long. I mean, and so many things have changed since we were last able to see each other and be on tour.
That's for sure. Definitely not only within Next Step, but within the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's crazy. The whole world is in a bit of a chaos, but thank you so much for
Yeah.
taking the time to do this with me. I really do appreciate it.
I have fun connecting with the fans, so I am
Yeah,
definitely happy to do this.
I mean, it's an amazing opportunity, and I'm excited to get the opportunity to talk to you about what's to come, basically.
Sure.
So you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so my first question for you is about obviously you produce a lot of your own music. So I
Mm.
was wondering, is there a specific headspace or time frame you find you create your best work, or what's the process
Uh,
like for you?
the process varies. It's kind of like different all the time, which is the hard part to find consistency. I think the one consistent thing is that it's always in the evening. I don't
Okay.
know why, but if you've noticed, a lot of recording artists are in the studio during at night.
Yeah,
So I'm in the studio. My hours are usually like 8 p.m. all the way until like 5 a.m. Sometimes I'll be in the
yeah,
recording studio, and then I'll get home and I'll come inside and I'll be like, "Mom, I'm home." She's like, "Why are you getting home?" And she's getting ready for work. So it's just really funny because you
yeah,
know our hours are completely different. But yeah, that's the
yeah.
one consistent thing. But in terms of actually creating the music, the process is so different all the time. Sometimes it just starts with the beat
Mm,
and we're working words into the beat, and sometimes it starts with the words and I know how I want it to sound in my head. I just have to bring it to life.
yeah,
And it's always subject to change. That's the biggest thing. So
yeah.
yeah, we just have fun when we do it. We just have to have fun. That's the biggest part.
Yeah, of course. I think if you're not having fun with what you're doing, I think it's so obvious in what's produced. Um,
Hmm.
so I like that. Yeah,
It has to be natural, and when you're not having fun is the time when you have to like take a step away from it for a second and
yeah.
go back in and feel ready, so
That's a good point. Actually, has there ever been a specific time where you've gone through a huge just writer's block where you've struggled to produce what makes you happy? And how have you found yourself get out of that?
um I have before, and the biggest thing for me is kind of like retracing my steps or going back to my roots and
Mm,
revisiting the things that make me feel whole, and
mm,
also just like revisiting the things that I fell in love with and that I love as a musician. So maybe old people's music or
yeah.
music that's for me that's inspired me, or like just being able to like find what stuff that I love dancing to and then really try and emulate that or return to that.
Mhm.
Just feel it out. So it's a matter of like figuring out what you love and what you love about it, and then creating that yourself but making it you.
Yeah, I no, I think that's a really like interesting answer, and I think that's so true for a lot of things. So yeah, and you kind of touched on it with that answer, but I was wondering if there's been a specific person that's had the biggest impact on your work and on your growth as an artist.
There's a few people. There's a guy named Devin Tracy, and
Mm,
he's a rapper from my city as well. And he kind of like introduced me to the studio life in a sense, where he brought me to a couple of my first recording sessions and like showed me how to craft rhymes and
yeah.
write and what works and what doesn't. And I kind of took those steps and kind of went with it a little bit. There was a little bit of help from the people who were creating music on Next Step at
Mm,
the beginning stages of me recording. My dad used to come to the studio a lot, so he used to give
yeah.
me his input and be like, "Yo, this is hot, and this is okay, and do more of this and do less of that." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
cool." He gave me a lot to say, and just meeting producers and engineers along the way,
Mm,
I approach their music differently because I adapt to what is given. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
for the most part, those are the biggest influences that I have around me. Other than that, it's always been people that I look up to, like other artists and
Yeah.
celebrities that I admire.
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
No, I like that. And I think that what you said about your dad as well is so true. Like, you get some of your best honest criticism and constructive feedback from your parents. So I like that.
Oh, 100% from both of my parents, my mom and my dad, and my sister. My sister's like my biggest critic. She'll be
Yeah,
like, "This is really good." She'll be like, "This song though, like,
yeah,
Or she'll play it for her friends. I'll be like, "Mom, play this for your friends," and she'll
yeah,
play it for her friends, or she'll play it in the car at school. And then they'd be like, "Whoa, who's this?" She'll like slip it in their playlist, and then she's like, "It's my brother."
That's brilliant. Yeah, get the promo. Yeah, you get. I think it's yeah, it's so good. It's so good to have like that honest group around you. Yeah. So as well, another thing that's been happening a lot recently is the teasing of Good, Bad, Ugly and the music that we can expect from that. So I was wondering, is there anything that you could tease about it, or 3 words to sum up what we could be expecting in the near future?
3 words to sum up Good, Bad, Ugly. Funny, Good, Bad, Ugly right there.
Yeah.
For starters, it's something new. So
Okay.
I think that a lot of people are gonna enjoy it because, for starters, we're a boy group from Toronto, Canada. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
We're all Black, or we're all African Canadian, so that doesn't happen often, which
Yeah.
is really cool. And I think that we're all very young. No, I think we all are very young. We're all like 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
So all early 20s. But the music is going to be kind of like R&B influenced,
Nice.
or hip hop influenced, but it's pop. So
Okay.
that's what I can tell you. It's gonna be
Very
a
nice.
little bit more on the alternative pop side, which is gonna be fun. And we're all very different. Me and the guys are very different. So when you start to meet Rico and when you start to meet Mal, you're gonna see that like we all bring different sides
Yeah.
of the group. We all bring different versions of Good, Bad, Ugly within each of us. But the music is always going to represent what is good about life, what is bad about life, and what is ugly about life, and relationships and things like that. So
I think that's such an interesting concept. That's really exciting. Like, I can't wait to see what comes out of it, because I think it's so interesting having the different perspectives all brought together, because it can create something completely magical. So it'll be exciting to see where that goes.
To happen. I can't wait. So hopefully we get it popping this year.
Yeah.
And move forward with that.
Very nice. Well, we're all very excited about that. So I can't wait to see where that adventure goes. But then I was wondering, I feel like this is quite a tough one. Like, I know that I wouldn't be able to choose myself, but I was wondering, would you rather only be able to write music but never perform again, or not make any new music and only be able to perform the stuff you've created in the past?
Only be able to perform the stuff I've created in the past?
Yeah.
Never be able to create again, or only be able to create again and never be able to perform it?
Yeah, whatever.
I would, I grew up performing as a dancer, so it pains me not to be able to perform.
Yeah.
Because of performing. But the only thing is that I'm not satisfied yet with all the music that I've put out, and I want to put out more music that is true to me, or more music that is going to be groundbreaking and like history breaking and just like record breaking in general. So yeah, it's a really hard question. It's a really hard decision. I love performing.
I know it is a tough one.
Especially in a time like this, it's hard. Like, we don't really get to perform. Like, we only really get to let people absorb the music through streaming platforms, and maybe do like a little virtual type show. But like in person is so different. So
exactly,
right now, in this very moment, I'd probably go crazy if I didn't create anything else. So I'm gonna say I would rather create and not perform.
Fair enough. I think, yeah, because they're both such different creative outlets. Like, it's so difficult to choose between the two.
It's so hard because I love performing, especially as a dancer. Like,
yeah.
Oh, but I have to create. Otherwise, I'd go crazy. But hopefully we get back to performing soon. So
I know 100%, because I think Corona's had such a huge impact on the arts industry, and kind of just the lack of touring has been so damaging and so like upsetting for everyone. So I was wondering, like, again, is there because obviously you were able to perform to your own song on the Next Step tour. So I was wondering, was there a color that kind of summed up what dancing to your own song in front of an entire audience was like for you?
A color. It's really funny because whenever we get to do lighting for the tour, they always ask us like, what color do you want behind us? Or what color do you want behind you? solo or your duet or your group or like, but
Yeah.
sometimes we have like a little bit of say, you know what I mean? Like it's a really small amount. So
Yeah.
this time I actually didn't have any say and I just said make it crazy. So they made it like half, I think it was like half pink and then half purple or half red and half blue,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it just kept going back and forth. I was like, this is fire.
Yeah.
And funny enough, like fire is how I feel physically whenever I'm dancing. I feel like a really wild fire, just like
Mm.
just gets bigger and bigger until
Yeah.
like the song's done. And yeah. So if I was to choose a color of what it feels like red and it feels like orange and it just feels very big and bold and loud and brash and just in
Yeah.
your face. That's what I feel like when I'm performing. I feel very explosive.
I love that. I think that, yeah, I think there's something so powerful about that form of expression and
Mhm.
just being like the energy a crowd can give you as well. It's just,
Liberating.
it's insane. It's so
Yeah.
insane. I love that. Um, so another question that I had from a fan actually was about, did you have a favorite moment whilst you were rehearsing a group number or in like a solo on your time on the show, that was your favorite moment from it?
There's so many things that happen in rehearsal that are just like
Yeah.
completely funny. And I have some videos of them, and some of them are just kind of like in your head or like a be there moment where you're like, oh,
Mm.
you just have to be there. And I, it's so hard to choose from because there's so many of them. Like we laugh about everything until the point that Amy, our choreographer,
Yeah.
has to be like, hey guys, time to get back to work. You know what I mean? So I would have to say that like, oh, I don't even know. There's so many to choose from.
Mm.
Uh, okay, there was one day when we were rehearsing for tour, and I had to teach the cast how to tut for
Yeah.
their most recent tour, and that was the funniest process because none of them have tutted before, and
Yeah.
it got to a point where I was like, I had to give them a simplified version, otherwise it was just gonna look really messy and really bad. And
Yeah.
then there's other moments in rehearsal where they're teaching me things like ballet, and I've only taken like a few years of ballet at high school,
Mm.
and they're trying to show me how to like point my feet, and they're like, Isaiah, you have brick for feet, and I'm like, yeah, because I can't point them. There's just a lot of funny things that happen in rehearsal.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's so
Yeah.
many. Yeah.
I think, yeah, you can tell though when the group is together, just the amount of energy and fun that must come out of those sessions.
Crazy. The worst is when we're like all flipping and
Mm.
we're trying to out each other, and then one person just eats it. They just mess up on the flip. Or like we go to the gymnastics gym and we're all trying
Mm.
to like overshine, and just one person just has to just crash and eat it. It tends to be me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I end up just eating a little bit of the floor, and I'm just like, oh, I can't do that flip as good as you,
Oh,
but I tried. That's what counts, you know.
yeah, exactly. It's trying, taking part, that matters. So
Mm-hmm.
another question I had was about, obviously the last few years have been an insane process of growth for you.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, in terms of looking back at, say, your 15, 16-year-old self, what advice would you give to younger Isaiah?
Advice that I would give to young. That's a really good question. Advice that I would give to younger Isaiah. If I could talk to my 15 and 16-year-old self, um, I would tell him that not everything feels like the end of the world.
Mm.
There was a lot of moments where I felt like the world was ending, or the sky was falling, and it
Yeah.
was all just down on my shoulders, and I felt like I was never gonna get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here today,
Yeah.
and that is the biggest thing because in that moment it feels like you're not gonna make it.
Yeah.
Here I am still standing. So thank God. But if I could talk to my 15, 16-year-old self, I would just be like, even though you're thinking twice, think a third time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like really, really just pray on it, and also just understand that it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
You will get through it.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a strong message, and I think that's one that's so important.
I think it's the
Especially,
most. I think it's like the most that I actually need here. You know what I mean? Like everything else, and my 15-year-old and 16-year-old self feels mindful enough and very aware and very wise in terms of like just if you fail, try again. if you fall down, just get back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Spread love and lead with love all the time. I get that. But I think if there's one thing that my 15 or 16-year-old self needs to hear, it needs to hear it's not the end of the world. You will get through it.
Yeah. Especially, and I think that's like such a relevant message even today, like even just throughout the uncertain times everyone's going through, it's extra important now that that's a message that needs to be spread around more, I feel like. So I really like that answer and really agree with it, and feel like a lot of people will really closely resonate with that. Yeah. So another kind of flip side of things would be, where do you see yourself being in 5 years' time?
5 years. 5 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
I would hope to at least have. I would hope to at least make sure that my family is good. You know what I mean? I want to make sure my sister and my mom and my dad are set.
Yeah.
I'm hoping 5 years, probably in less than 5 years, I can do it.
Mm.
And that means a lot of different things for me financially. You know what I mean? Physically,
Yeah.
great, all those types of things. But mentally. But in entirety and overall, I would hope that like maybe I've booked a really big role by then.
Yeah.
Probably like, or in 5 years from now, maybe I got my debut album out, because I've only put out an EP so far. So hopefully I have an album out that really does numbers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Puts on the map. Whether that be by myself or with the group, I'm hoping that the group thrives as well.
Yeah.
I think it will. And yeah, maybe I won't be in Canada. Maybe I'll be somewhere else. I might be abroad. You know what I mean? I might be in the States, or I want to travel a lot. So hopefully I get to travel a lot more 5 years from now.
Yeah. But, where's your dream place to go? Like, if you could go anywhere right now.
I was talking to my mom about this the other day. Probably like Egypt.
Ooh,
I really want to go to Egypt. I have a friend that just came back from there, and she was just telling me about it. I was like, wow, it's amazing. I have another friend that's from Dubai, and she says that it's amazing. So maybe over there.
Yeah.
And I went to Cuba last year. No, the year before, 2019. And I just really enjoyed the sunset like every night.
Yeah.
Every day. So like maybe back to Cuba or Jamaica. I would love to go to Jamaica.
That would be an amazing trip.
Or Guyana. I haven't been to Guyana, and that's where my mom's from. So I would love to go there and experience that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go back.
Japan. I just want to travel the world. I want to go to Japan. Me and my girl want to go to Japan, so that would be really awesome.
Yeah, Japan's so interesting. I feel like that would be an incredible place to explore.
A complete culture shock for me, so I would just enjoy it. I know I would enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So obviously traveling will be one of the huge things on your bucket list, but I was wondering, are there 3 top things that could be on your bucket list for the future?
My bucket list in the future. Ooh. So I honestly like traveling is one of them. Oh, okay. But everyone's gonna say this. Everyone always says this. I want to skydive. I really want to skydive.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if I sound crazy, but I really want to go on a skydive.
Yeah.
So, hopefully without the trainer, hopefully they trust me enough for me to like pull my own parachute. But like,
yeah.
I don't even know if I trust me enough to pull my own parachute. But hopefully. But I would love to go skydiving. Me and my dad spoke about that. And is there anything else on my bucket list? Like on like a real bucket list, not like I could do it tomorrow if I really wanted to.
Yeah. Longer term.
Yeah.
When Corona eventually disappears.
I don't even know if this is on my bucket list, but it's a part of like something that I really want. I really want my own private jet. Like I want a PJ.
Yeah.
A PJ where I could just be like, all right, guys, we're going to
let's go.
Hop on the plane. You know what I mean? And just tell my friends to all hop on. I really want that.
That would be cool.
Those are 2 bucket list things, you know?
Nice. I like those. And then my final question for you, this one's kind of a bigger one, and I know there's probably not a huge amount you can tell us yet, But I was wondering if there are things like different projects in the pipelines and what you could potentially tell us or tease about those.
Well, for Good, Bad, Ugly, or GBU, we're hoping. Oh, I can't even say it, but let's just say this year. Let's just say this year. I'm saying
Nice.
I could say
Yeah.
that. This year, we're in the studio all the time, so this year.
That's exciting.
I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can guarantee that. And let me think. Oh, I can't like spoil too much, but Sneakerella is gonna be dropping this year, I'm pretty sure, which is the Disney movie that I was a part of. So
yeah,
that.
That's really exciting.
That's gonna be really dope.
What was it like working on that?
Oh, awesome! The choreographers were amazing. Emilio and Ebony, completely amazing, inspirational, motivational. Just like their drive is ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Their ability, like their physical ability, just makes me want.
There we go.
What happened there?
I don't even know. I mean, it's the joys of Zoom. All the technical difficulties are happening.
I was literally like, "Did your computer freeze?" I was like, "Why is she frozen?" Then I hit the space bar and I was like, "Whoa!" My computer just like started glitching. I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
you off, it's back on."
Yeah, I mean, it's completely okay. I thought it was my Wi-Fi, honestly, because
no, you're good. That was totally my computer. I need a new one. It's old.
Well, thank you for joining back. But no, I'm glad that process of being a part of that was so good. And it's definitely really exciting to have all of these upcoming projects in the near future.
Hugely. I'm just very grateful to be able to still be working and just being able to keep doing what I love and make a living off of it. Like, it feels really good.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a really like exciting note to end it on. Just it's exciting to have everything to come, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today about all of the projects and everything that we can expect. I'm really looking forward to it.
For sure. Take care, okay?
You too, and I'll hopefully see you again once this is all over.
Definitely will, because I love the UK and I will be back.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you again. It was lovely to catch up.
Anytime.